Because Denmark is so old, it has a lot of towns and villages, like the town of Munkebo, Abeltoft, or Saxkobing, that are much smaller than its capital city, Copenhagen. And with fewer attractions, it raises the question, what does a small town in Denmark have to offer an American? Well, I'll tell you, a lot. I went to one of these small towns, Saeby, in northern Jutland, and I had a great time, and I was never bored. I'm in the village, no, the town, no, the city of Saeby, and by American standards, it's a town or even a hamlet, but here it's a city. It's because it's a city because it's historical value. Like many of these small towns, Saeby has a lot of historical buildings dating back from the 18th century and earlier. Saeby was granted market rights in 1524 to be a market town, one of only 74 in all of Denmark. Being a market town added prestige and wealth to the surrounding areas. Here's a picture of the town seal from 1584, pictured with the town cathedral. And here I am in front of the town cathedral. All right, behind me is the Saeby Cathedral. It's so bright you can almost you barely can see it, but it is something, I'm telling you, that should be seen. We went inside the cathedral, but I didn't videotape myself saying anything in the cathedral because that would be disrespectful, even in this Instagram culture. And you don't want to be disrespectful in such a beautiful Romanesque cathedral from the 14th century with a Gothic tower added on later. And it has wonderful murals that date back even to its Catholic origins. The small square around the cathedral was the first town square in Saeby. And you see some of those first buildings here. The first town hall from around 16th century. Pretty impressive. And Saeby, like these other towns, have many of the things that a town needed before there was electricity. They still have the watermill that was used to grind grain, and it still regulates the flow of water from the river to the sea. While retaining its historical look, Saeby, like these other towns, has all the amenities of modern life. A modern town supermarket, high-end stores, and there's even a ceramic studio with a high-tech kiln. If that's not enough, the town of Saeby has a mini Saeby. That's right, a miniature version of itself. It looks just like the town, but it's smaller. The town built it and maintains it, and it takes less time to walk around mini Saeby than it does the real Saeby. It has miniature versions of its building, like the cathedral, the watermill. Saeby also has a very nice current town square. See, Saeby is old enough to have multiple town squares. That's old. And in this town square, where residents and tourists gathered and gather for food and community. And that sense of community comes out in their museum, where with artifacts and paintings, the museum gives you a sense of how the town started, evolved, and came to be what it is today. The town also has a fabulous harbor, which was just renovated, and is looked over by the famed Lady from the Sea, named after Ibsen's play of the same name. In addition to the attractions in Saeby proper, you can also go to Frederikshaven, which you can see from the shores of the town beach. See, those structures, that's Frederikshaven. And Aalborg, the big regional city. You can also visit two very historical buildings. There's Vorgard Castle, that used to be a monastery until the Reformation of 1536, and the Museum of Sabygard Manor House, which was owned by the local bishop, also until the Reformation. And if that's still not enough, there's the House of Grain. Yes, the House of Grain. It's a center for learning about grain, and you can learn about grain as it evolved in Denmark and around the world. They have an 8-foot high replica of a kernel of grain, a map of grain around the world. And you can even grind your own grain into flour. Good stuff. So if you thought Saeby was just some sleepy shore town, you'd be wrong. And there are dozens of other towns just like Saeby all around Denmark. With so much to offer, they're worth taking a trip to. And I can't wait to go to some of these other towns when I go back to Denmark. Thank you. Talk you kindly.